Hello and welcome back to Spotlight Indie. Today I am joined by two brilliant guests, one of whom you know very well, one of whom you may only know a little well. We have the delightful Dawn Ross and the fantastic Frasier Armitage, who I'm so pleased to welcome to Spotlight Indie. So welcome, Dawn, and welcome back, Frasier, although you're very comfortable in these surroundings, I know, but you're on the other side of the desk today.
I get to be a guest. How cool is this? Instead of hosting anything, I get to actually answer questions. Woo! Yeah. So yeah, sorry everybody. You're subjected to me today. But hi.
And we're delighted to have Dawn with us as well. So Dawn, welcome to Spotlight Indie.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. We're discussing before we hit record that this is your first sort of interview, recorded interview like this, so what a watershed moment for Spotlight Indie that we're thrilled to have. And even this might be your first time talking like this to Frasier as well.
Yes, even though we've known each other or contacted, communicated and worked together many years, so it's really awesome to talk to him in person.
So they prove that he's only a part-time robot.
Exactly. Yeah, no, Dawn knows I'm a full-time nerd. She's felt the full-timeness of my nerdiness. So but this is the first time in person. So yeah, it's a date for the diary.
Well, and it feels a little bit mad to me because we are here to talk about, or one of the things we're here to talk about is A Moonful of Silver, which is a book that you've written together. And yeah, this is the first time, you're chatting like this, which is fantastic. So why not let's introduce that book to us. It is, well, I'll let you guys introduce it and describe it. It's a really great book, so I will at least just feed you into that. So do you want to tell people what it's about, what it is?
So I would love to tell you about the book, Alex. It is, so A Moonful of Silver is something that I'm calling a space-getty western, because it's a spaghetti western in space. It's set on the moon, and it's got all of the classic things you would expect to see from a spaghetti western, except it's all twisted in this lovely sci-fi goodness. So yeah, there's the anti-heroes, there's the classic bad guys, there's the people that need rescuing, there's the shootouts, there's all the good stuff, right? How did I do, Dawn? That
was awesome. Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, if you like old westerns and Clint Eastwood, yeah, this is just a twist, science fiction twist on it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's Sergio Leone in space is what it is, which is that's what we set out to write, and amazingly that's what it came out like. So it's but it all kind of stemmed from just this mutual love of those movies, because who doesn't love a good spaghetti western, right?
I grew up on those. My dad still watches them.
yeah it's like you'll never tire of movies like The Good, the Bad and the Ugly and Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More, and the whole dollars thing is just amazing. So we kind of took that and we kind of paid homage to it a little bit, but we also wanted to make it very accessible for people who love sci-fi, because when you watch those movies, it is like they're set on like an alien world. So looking at it, bringing that tone to the moon, we thought would be a really fun thing to do. So yeah, it was just great fun to write.
Yeah, and I think that sort of the wild westerns of it, these sort of the towns that are very specifically, you have to be in the towns because there's artificial atmosphere there, but you've got the other towns that you can get to. It does feel nicely sort of contained, but still this vast space, no pun intended, like beyond the townships and that you've got there. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure people will be rushing to the shelves at this point to go and grab it.
You can pre-order it now. It's going to be released hopefully March the 3rd, but hopefully by the time that this airs, we'll have everything in place for the pre-order to be there. So yeah, if it's something you like the sound of as we chat about the book, yeah, just pause the video and go pre-order it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I can guarantee it is fun. They were kind enough to send me a copy of the book in preparation for this chat, and it's really good fun. And one of those moments of sitting on the sofa reading the book and thinking I should probably get up and go and do something. But I'm also like I just one more chapter will be fine. Yeah, I think one of the things that's kind of nice that you've done, you've got sort of not like past and present chapters for the different characters as well. So you've almost got like two storylines going, and you've nestled them really nicely together. So it is, you sort of skip the pace, like, well, whose chapter is next? Oh, it's it's Esteban past. I should find this out though, and this is important context I need. So it's it's a good one that keeps you dragged along. So definitely go pause, pre-order, come back and unpause.
And that was so fun to write in that structure as well, because we initially decided to do this project together because I put something out on social media, and I've known Dawn through social media for such a long time, and she's helped me with my books loads, and I absolutely love the feedback that she gives, and her books are just awesome. They're like sci-fi, space, Star Trek adjacent books, which are just brilliant, and I've always loved Dawn's stuff. So I just put this message out that said, I've got too many ideas and not enough time. And Dawn just said, well, if you want some help making time, I'm really good at outlining projects. I could give you a hand. So I was like, I would love to write something with you. Let's do it. So I sent Dawn this big list of ideas, and she was like, this is the one. Let's do this one. And then it was a case of figuring out how we were going to write it together. But the back and forth between the past and the present was a really good way of being able for each of us to kind of like exist in this world at the same time, but also separately, which was really, really lovely. So Dawn just like breathed so much soul into the book with the chapters that she wrote. It's just all the lovely stuff about the book is Dawn's fault, basically. And I'm just a waffle. So
it's his idea, and I just like fell in line with it. It was just such an amazing idea. It was easy to get going, and he did a fantastic job with the characters too. And I know nobody's gonna like Esteban, but I like writing the bad guys.
But then that's the thing, right? You've got to love to hate them. So I think you've done a good job with that. So yeah, you're not supposed to like them, right? I mean, maybe if they do, maybe that's a problem on the reader's side, not your side.
Yes, I wanted to make him like, oh, I know why he's bad. So just explain why he is the way he is, makes it more believable.
Yeah, but at the same time, it like Don's created this person who is truly vile. So it's like, so it's this really nice thing of you can see why he's the way that he is, but you still hate him. It's like he's a really juicy bad guy. It's like, because you need that in a spaghetti western, right? By the time the showdown comes down, you need that threat.
He started out a little too bad, and Frasier had to dial me back a little bit.
I love it.
It was great. It's great. But the whole thing of seeing these different characters and figuring them out together, and Dawn really breathing life into them, and then allowing me to then sort of, pick up on what was happening after that was just the best. It was just like, as a writer, it was such a fun experiment, to sort of, and I just, it was very different to anything that I've ever done before. But
yes,
well,
I couldn't have picked a better person to work with, because you're amazing. I mean, I've never worked with anybody in writing before, so it was a fun challenge, and it was an enjoyable challenge.
Yeah, we just have, this is the thing, like, because we've been friends for so long, it just felt so comfortable, right? It was great. I loved it. Yeah, best collab ever. So you should get the book just for that.
Well, I feel like it's a nice, like, especially with the going on the westerns. You can kind of dip into and have there are certain characters that you can revisit easily in a different place. I don't know how deeply to talk about those characters without giving anything away, really. But there's certain people you can follow, or revisit like parts in the setting as well to see how they've developed. And there's obviously a lot of other events that you can follow the developments of and see how they're going in the book. So that is, you say that this is the first collaboration that either of you have done. You say, and you both are established writers in your own right. So it sounds like that wasn't too much of a challenge for you, or at least it wasn't an arduous challenge.
Right. It was definitely not arduous. It's just a matter of coordinating time and ideas, really. But But we're both agreeable people and open to ideas. It made it probably much easier. I don't know. It was easy. I'd say overall it was easy. Yes.
Yeah, I've collaborated on different projects with people before, but never on a story like this before. So I knew that I loved collaboration because I love working with people. I love it's like improv, right? If you approach it with that mentality of like yes and, as opposed to like shutting things down, if you just accept that, right, okay, someone's going to give me something and then I get to work with it and then they get to spar off me and then they get to do something with it, what you come to together is always better than what you could come to by yourself. And the book kind of like developed like that. We were just sort of throwing things out there, and then it came time to do an edit, and then it was like, oh, okay, what if we did this? And then it's like, yeah, okay, but if we did this, then we could do that as well. And then it just kind of, there's something really organic about that part of the collaborative process. So at no point did it feel like it was a slog. And also, you're only writing half a book. You only have half the words to write. So it was like, you get to the end of it and you're like, wow, that was easy. That was fast. It's great.
So that probably does like take some of the sting out of like, oh, we need to rewrite this chapter. I was like, well, I only have to rewrite half a chapter or like, half of the storyline, so it's fine.
Yeah. It's like I only have to kill off 2/3 of a character. That's amazing. Like, it was great.
So I want to also shine a spotlight on the stuff that you've already done, as well as the fantastic book that we're here to talk about. So Dawn, you've written quite a few books already.
Yes.
But Frasier has already started talking up. So can you give us just a quick like rundown of the series that you've already written?
Yes. It's called Starfire Dragons, but there's no actual dragons. The dragons are the family name of two of the main characters that have a kind of a space-based samurai culture. Starts out with the first book. You have three main characters throughout the whole series, but the first book is when they first meet each other, and the two warriors and the Federation-like society, I call them the cooperative, do not get along. So it's interesting. The first book is just them getting to know each other and hate each other. Then, wait a minute, maybe he's not so bad kind of attitude. And then, of course, there's bounty hunters and another race of people that are trying to cause trouble. And then the series veers off from there, but it still follows the three main characters. In the end, it's kind of like a found family kind of thing where the three characters realize different things about each other and change and defeat major bad guys.
Well, I mean, that sounds like you've got a lot packed into. I know there's quite a few. Are there 8 books in it? 8 books?
There are 7 main books.
Okay.
And there's like 3 novellas, but I got so
It
many
still feels
ideas.
like a lot to pack into so many books and packages.
Yes, there's lots of bad guys too. You know, you got cyborgs come into it, and I don't know. It is a lot. It's a dragon emperor, which he's human, but he's still evil, and
it's like the best season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, all condensed into one series of books, but it's different. It's like it's strange. It's got that whole vibe of, if you love that kind of space feeling, but it's its own unique little universe that Dawn's created, which is all centered around character so heavily. And it's just, I just love it. I just think it's great. It's really cool books.
Think Battlestar Galactica, Firefly. I mean, it's got all those Star Wars, Star Trek. I borrow a lot from a lot of different sci-fi entertainments and books.
That seems like a great springboard, like all those sci-fi sort of elements and experience to bring to this project with Frasier as well. And Frasier, I know you don't get to talk about them a lot on this side of the desk, so why don't you run us through your own stuff as well, now that you're a guest, because you also have a very strong sci-fi pedigree for your own work.
Well, thanks, Alex. Thank you. I guess the books that probably tie in most to this are probably these two, which is A Stitch Between Worlds, which is a short story collection, and this one, Cage of Stars. This one actually is quite interesting to think about. So this won the Sci-Fi Idea Dyson Sphere contest award thing that they did, but the prize fell through. So it's like an award-winning book which actually has nothing to show for having won it, which is lovely. But yeah, basically this book is takes place on a Dyson sphere, so set in this world is very different to the one that we know, and it kind of goes through lots of different perspectives. One of them is, so when I wrote this book, I'd written out the first chapter of Moonful of Silver, and I loved the idea of this sort of bounty hunter on the moon. And I was like, oh, maybe I could bring a similar type of character into this, because let's face it, Moonful of Silver has just been sat on my computer for years and it's probably never going to get written. I'll just write a similar type character into this. So I wrote this, and then we wrote our book together, and this just felt like a warm-up. It was like, oh, so I know how to write spaghetti westerns in space. Yeah, because I did it here. It's like, so there's chapters that run through this book that are very similar. And if people have enjoyed reading Cage of Stars, then they'll probably find something to like about Moonful of Silver, because it's quite reminiscent of that. But I do feel like it was handy having that in the tank, because yeah, it's quite a strange space to fit into, to make something feel sci-fi when you're playing on tropes that have such a unique feel about them in themselves. It's like, how do you get that blend? Stuff like The Mandalorian season 1 did it really well, and I'd written out Moonful of Silver like maybe a year before that show came out, and when I saw that show I was like, oh, I'll just park this now because I kind of got it, but it's that kind of thing of, it's space, it's sci-fi, but it's also spaghetti western, and to merge the two is really, really fun. So figuring out how to do it in Cage of Stars meant that I could, it just felt like moving from one book to the next. It was really fun.
I had the opportunity to beta read that one before it came out, and it is really good. A lot of action, and the characters are just so unique, and there's so much mystery in it too. Like, what is happening? Why is he doing that? What's this about?
Yeah, we decided to work on Moonful of Silver just before Dawn beta read it, and I was like, please don't think I'm stealing anything from our project, please. Honestly, I've already written this. It's like, but no, it's yeah, I people who've read it seem to enjoy it, so it kind of feels like a really natural thing to go into next for me. But for Dawn, this is the first time she's written in the real world, because it's set on the moon. Right. We haven't made up the setting. The setting really is there.
It's not a galactic viewpoint. It's close to
yeah,
home. Yes.
yeah. So it's so yeah. Dawn's for the first time ever having to look at real world stuff and being like, oh, okay, I have to be bound by this. I can't just make something up and get myself out of it. I actually so I've written in the real world before, but this was all fresh for Dawn. So yeah, it was
actually
really nice...
Sorry, it was actually kind of fun, because I had to think about, well, they don't just walk around like normal. They're on the moon. It's going to be lighter gravity. There's going to be some little quirks. How are they breathing? I was thinking all this science stuff, and I was reading more science stuff just to try to make sure that we can make it as believable as possible.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the gravity there specifically, because that's, as you were saying that, Frasier, that's also what I was thinking about, was that's one of the sort of small details that is throughout, but that there's certain point of, I think inside they don't feel it as much, but when they're out wandering the streets, they're taking one small step for man every time they go. So it's those sort of small details that really, I was going to say, make the world feel grounded, make the moon feel not as grounded as not gravitationally bound, at least.
Yeah, and it's like some of the challenges that creates is really fun, because how do you tell action in that environment? You see something like For All Mankind, and they've done it really well in creating this setting on the moon, and it's a great way of doing that. But how do you transition something like that into the written form, into a book? Finding out the technology that's on the moon that allows them to be able to function in these environments seamlessly, to go from something with artificial gravity to somewhere where you're just relying on the moon's gravity. How does that work? And figuring all of that out was a real fun thing, because once you figured it out, you can then play with it. But it was good. Sort of, we spent quite a while sort of getting our heads around the mechanics, and then once we'd got that, it was like you'd got all of your toys laid out, and you then were able to have playtime. So, but yeah, that was I think that's something that I'm going to take into all of my future projects, is just spending enough time setting up the board before you start moving pieces, because I have the tendency of just starting too early. I think of an idea and I'm like, right, chapter 1, let's go, so so yeah, it was it's a good thing to learn for me.
Well, Dawn, would you say there's off the back of that, would you say there's anything from work on this particular project that you've thought that's a really useful bit of insight about maybe your own process working alongside Frasier, or just something you thought, I'm going to take that forward and that'll be helpful for your own project?
I like, Frasier's really good at thinking outside the box. And I find that so inspirational. I'm like, how does he come up with this stuff? Does that answer your question? I'm not sure if I answered that right, but
yeah, I think I feel like maybe we'll all try and be a bit more Frasier when we're thinking of ideas and plot lines and things like that.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of crazy stuff would Frasier think of?
Yeah, we'll all have like bracelets to say, what would Frasier do?
What would Frasier do?
You know that bit in The Matrix where Keanu Reeves gets told there is no spoon, and it kind of like, it's all of a sudden it changes the way that that's my brain, like, there is no box.
Yeah, it's very inspirational to see that and how he brings those creative ideas to life. It's just, I got to read everything of his, because that's how you learn, right? I can learn from him by reading his stuff.
Oh, thanks, Don. We shouldn't be this like nice to each other. We should be like, people like drama in the book community. We should be creating some kind of, this isn't going to sell any books. Yeah, we need to start a feud or something. That's the way to do it. But
it's okay. We can edit the whole thing and we'll just make it so that you said this and when she said this, and then it's like, oh my God, could you believe the look on his face when Dawn was talking about this?
Here. Copy this.
yeah.
What did you say?
Perfect. That's the thumbnail, right?
You'll never believe what Frasier said. Just that.
How dare you? I'm going to cry.
Okay, drama aside, I feel like maybe we can. We've got a little game to play on this week, which we've called "What in the World," for a few questions for you to explore the fictional world that you've created on the moon, and what sort of fun things could be fun about bringing things in or out of the world, which may include yourselves. So we've got a list of questions here to go through. So question number 1, and I'll just open this, out to the floor. So do jump in if you've got an answer. If you could bring one thing from a Moonful of Silver, that fictional world, into our world, what would it be, and why? Why would you bring that thing over?
So I've got an answer for this. In Moonful of Silver, the moon gets sun for about 2 weeks, and then it is plunged into night for about 2 weeks. And we needed to find a way of having humans being able to regulate that length of day and night, because obviously it's going to adjust your sleep cycle, it's going to adjust all of those different things. So we came up with the idea of these collars that will be able to help regulate the body's systems and functions in order to equip humans to adapt them to life in that kind of environment. And I could really do with one of those collars, because I nap through the day so much. Like, to sort of tweak a few settings and stay awake would be, honestly, that'd be a dream. That'd be great.
I feel like it would, and the opposite, that basically cures insomnia. If you've got a collar that's just like, no, you're out now, that's done.
Yeah.
That would be me, insomnia over here.
Yeah.
So we're fixing two ends of the spectrum there. But then go on, Dawn.
Sorry. I think for me, like the enclosed dome that can regulate the temperature. I mean, we got kind of some things going on this planet that it would be nice if we could still be safe if things go awkward.
Yeah, it's probably the least believable thing about our book is that the aircon works. Like,
yes. Yeah, as I said, I did enjoy the pocket of atmosphere that the town's got, because as I said, that really added that element, you know, as you say, putting all the pieces on the board and the things that you can kind of twist and play with the fact that you can't, you know, it brings a different meaning to like, well, you can't leave town. I know, because there's literally no atmosphere outside of town, so you can't go anywhere.
In a way, it's kind of like the Westerns, you know, back in the day, you know, towns were very far apart from each other, and traveling from one to the other was dangerous and almost nothing out there. So having that little colony there, that own little community, is very Western style, but also now sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought it was a great, you know, building on those classic, as you say, universal things, but in a very sci-fi way. It was nice. I do. If you bring the collars back, or bringing the collars into this world, are you also bringing scanners in, or are we going to leave those on the moon?
I think some people will bring the scanners in.
Yes.
Especially Americans.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. I won't want to comment. Oh, there's the drama.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
the drama.
Yeah.
I feel as though I would be terrible. Don't give me a scanner. I would do something by accident, and then it would be terrible consequences, and I'd be like, oh no, what did I do? It's like,
no.
Yeah, whoops. Like
For context, especially after the whoops, for those of you who haven't paused long enough to read the book, we don't have gunslingers on the moon in this. We have scan slingers, so they're bringing their scanners with them in the way that you would have a gunfight. So I feel like that adds an extra bit of context to that. You just go, oh, whoops, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was just trying to take a long nap.
Yeah, because in that kind of environment, a gun would not, the pressure, it wouldn't work. So we were like, well, how do we make this threat on the moon? So, well, obviously the collar is the thing that if you can somehow overload that, it would be lethal, right? So we've got we've got this system put in place whereby it still mirrors the Wild West, but in like a sci-fi way. And because of that, the problem with that is that the scanners are also really useful just for scanning. So you can't get by without a scanner. I would need to have one with very strict parental controls. I think that would be my.
It would bring like a whole new level of danger to like the Tesco self-checkout if you're scanning your own groceries and then pointing it at other people.
Your self-serve suddenly becomes right. Yeah. I'm served by myself. Yeah.
Okay, so that's two nice things. Well, yeah, mostly nice things to bring through from the moon. Okay, so if you could send one thing from our world to your version of the moon, what would it be and why? I'll just throw that open to anyone who's got an answer.
What would you take, Dawn?
Well, a book. Can't do without that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they have a way to grow food, but not everybody on the moon in our story has that. What about animals? Did I cut off?
No,
what about animals? You know, I mean, you can have a chicken habitat on the moon. I don't know. Animals. I like animals.
I mean, that would be nice in a way because they don't fly very well here. So if you had them in the moon, they'd be great. They'd be loving it.
Oh my gosh, flying chickens on the moon.
Yeah.
That's another story, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going for this. I'm going for chocolate because I can't imagine that chocolate is something that is easy to grow, even with the sort of the technology that they have for growing plants and things. I can't imagine that chocolate is simple for them. And so I'd love to just take like a big tub of ice cream and
I knew when you said chocolate, I knew it was going to end up at ice cream.
Loads of chocolate and just be like, here you go, guys, here's a treat. Like that would be my idea of giving them something nice. Because we don't give them a lot of nice things in this story, but that's
no.
I feel like I think they'd forgive us if we did that.
Yeah, maybe they'd be a bit nicer. Just, you know, there'd be less, I don't know, tyranny if you could have some chocolate ice cream every now and again.
That's right. That's right.
As we all know, that is the solution to all of our problems. Is that if we just all had more ice cream. Yeah.
Ice cream and chocolate. Yes, the world would be a much better place.
Yeah. Every time somebody got angry, just went, here's a scoop of ice cream. Everything is better, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. We're solving the moon's ills and the world's ills at the same time. It's beautiful.
You're welcome, Will.
So we've chucked animals and chocolate and ice cream through this portal. So if you were to travel, you personally were to travel through this Spotlight Indie portal and find yourself living on the moon. So let's say you've got the collar now, so you're kind of can integrate into the world a little bit. How do you rate your chances of survival in general? And like, what's the first thing you would want to do on the moon?
Jump. I could be so much more agile if I could be on the moon.
My chances of survival are 0. So the first thing I would want to do is get on a ship back to the Earth. That's the only way I would survive up there, I think. Yeah.
Fair enough. And I'm just imagining Dawn, like, just, I don't know, maybe playing a bit of Spider-Man, like jumping from building to building, just enjoying the newfound agility.
That would be so fun. I would play around first before I try to find a way home.
I'd save you a ticket, Dawn, and you could go and have fun. And then, yeah, I do love the moon. I've always loved the moon. I've been in love with the moon ever since I can remember. You know, I think it's so fascinating. It's when you look up to the sky and you see it there, it's just so magical in so many ways that to actually be there would be incredible. But in terms of if I valued my health and well-being, not the most conducive to sustaining that.
I think it would help a lot of my aches and pains if I had. Like my muscles would finally loosen up, my spine would, quit pinching me, and it would be wonderful.
Yeah, and I move in slow motion anyway, so I'd be fine with the sort of low gravity stuff. Yeah,
I'm enjoying the two like very contrasting views of this. Of like Frasier being like, well, I'm dead now. Unless I find my way home, I'm definitely dead. And Dawn, you're going, this is great. I'm like, I've got a new lease of life. I can leap about.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just feed you some ice cream, Frasier, and you'll warm to it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's if we're talking that the moon has ice cream, then of course I'll be fine. But like if it doesn't, then I gotta get home. Basically, home is where the ice cream is.
Absolutely. Okay, I think that probably wraps it up for this week's Spotlight Indie. So thank you so much, Dawn and Frasier, for joining us. But do make sure you come back next week because they are going to be locked on the moon for that period of time. We'll let them out again to have another interview with us next week. So please, come make sure you watch that as well. And also go and check out A Moonful of Silver. It's a really great book. Obviously, we've been screaming its virtues here already, and it's had an award-winning warm-up with Cage of Stars. So imagine how good the book Moonful of Silver is going to be with Dawn's help as well. So as we wrap up, I'm going to ask you both to let everybody know about your books as well as Moonful of Silver and where they can find you on socials. So Dawn, where can people find you and your books? Well,
Amazon, Kobo, Google Play. I have a Shopify store, shop dawnrossauthor.com. My website is dawnrossauthor.com.
Perfect. And Frasier, what about you? What about all of your lovely books?
So people who watch this channel probably know how to find me already. But it's FrasierArmitage.com, at Frasier Armitage everywhere. If you just find me on Amazon, all of my books are there. You can get links to the website. And it's you can also check me out as the co-host of the Fanfire Addict Book Club. So if you're not tuned into that, you can also take a look at that because that's a cool way of us being able to read sci-fi and fantasy together. But that's basically where you'll find me most of the time. Mainly on Instagram these days, just because it's pink. And so it stands out on my phone. So I'm like, ooh, pink. I'll go into that one. So come find me on there. And if you want to get in the zone for Moonful of Silver, check out Cage of Stars.
And obviously go and pre-order Moonful of Silver. So thank you again. You can find Spotlight Indie at spotlightindie.co.uk. We're all over the socials and everything. We've got a big weekend that is just coming up, or I will edit this to say it has just been out, depending on because I haven't got the schedule in front of me. We've also got a big event coming up in Shrewsbury in person, so make sure you go and check out all the information for that as well. It's going to be an amazing event. We had such a blast doing our first in-person event, so we're really excited to be back in person, and we can all stand together and look up at the moon when it gets dark, and I don't know, hold our copies of Moonful of Silver up. So yeah, come and check out Dawn's stuff, check out Frasier's stuff, check out Spotlight Indie, and thank you again for joining me, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.